All right, guys, this is Crazy Kevin, and I'm here with Kat Zingano. Kat, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks. Now, Kat, it's been a little bit since we've seen you in the octagon. It's been since October. Talk to us a little bit about how you've been and how training has been as well.
Yeah, after that last fight, I just felt like taking a break. It went right into my son's wrestling season, which I help coach, and he's also a senior. So just really taking the time to enjoy the end of this, high school era, being a mom, and yeah, just taking a break. Some things after a training camp, and I fought twice last year, both pretty hard fights, and was really excited to take some time off to miss it, and this last couple weeks I've really been itching to train, and that's kind of the feeling that I like to get is that like want to get back in there and can't wait to get back in there, that feeling. So it's been good.
Yeah, no, that's definitely good. Now, do you happen to have any dates or maybe even opponents in mind in the future?
No, I think the Bellator PFL merge is still being figured out at the moment. So um I know I was told like the next few fights are going to be, or the last few fights that are available are going to be overseas and stuff. And so no, I'm ready to hear about stuff, but I don't have a like a gauge on what's absolutely next, just we'll see, I guess.
Right, right, absolutely. Now, with you being, I guess, in the PFL now, I mean, with their tournament, they have like a point system now. Is that going to change your training style up at all?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's the first thing I saw. My friend Jenna just fought on the PFL last week, and I did notice the point system. That was the first time I noticed that, So I don't know. I mean, my style is kind of always the same. I always come in trying to take off heads. Sometimes I do it first round. Sometimes I do it, through a decision. So um, every fight is as controllable as it can be to a degree. But I'll just be me and just, I guess, continue to do my thing like I always have. My When I get in fights, it's like this tunnel vision anyway. My brain doesn't think about points or scoring this or that. It's a lot darker for me than it is with a system like that. But I understand for the entertainment value and for the fans, that points in a tournament system are cool, and they try to make it fair, and they try to make it a little bit more like decisive on why who fights who next and all that, and that's cool. That makes it more like a legitimate sport versus just the entertainment side of the business.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, in the PFL, they don't allow elbows. Is that going to be a big change for you?
That is the biggest change that I I'm a little dreading because I love my elbows, and I throw a lot of them. I can throw them from anywhere, and they're really devastating. And so to get those taken away from me, again, like I said, when I'm in there, I'm just thinking like go, 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 and like hurt them, injure them, damage them. And it might actually even be a hard thing to break of me. Like I I still have problems not throwing knees sometimes when I'm not supposed to. So I don't know how that'll go with elbows when the adrenaline's high and whatever. I hope I don't make any big mistakes or hurt anybody, but it'll be an adjustment for me for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I definitely agree there 100%. Now, I keep seeing the dog keeps peeking in the camera. Can you talk to us a little bit more about
This is Marshall.
him? Awesome. Yep.
He's my big boy. He just had surgery a couple days ago, so he's extra needy, and I have his cone off of him right now because just giving him a break from the cone, and yeah, he's on meds, and when he's on meds, he's like velcroed to my side because I'm his emotional support animal right now.
Yeah, no, that's really, really cool. I have a dog myself, and he's a black mouth cur, and I love dogs, so that's really, really funny that the Marshall's right there for you.
Hmm.
With that being said, one of your last bouts was against Chris Cyborg. Cyborg was somebody that was like always trying to mess with you and get in your head. How are you able to like deal with that sort of mental warfare?
I just think it's tough because it's like this shit like that is not why I do this sport. You know what I mean? Like it's a hard adjustment coming from everything else I've done. Like I was a swimmer, I was in soccer, I did dance, I did track, I was a wrestler, and there's so much respect in those sports, and like people come and I don't know, it's just who are you and your skills and what you're good at going to do against me and my skills and what I'm good at, and like that's just what I'm used to, and it's tough. You know, it's tough when someone's extremely dirty in so many ways. Like not only is she doing the psychological warfare piece, but she cheats and uses steroids, and like she'll never be going down as one of the greatest fighters ever, because it just like she's not a good person, you know, and it was annoying and distracting for sure for her to do all these things, and then at the end of the fight act like she hadn't just treated me like that and try to get a hug out of me and try to act like we're fucking cool. And you know, and then I get backlash because I told her, I was like, hey, when the fight's over, keep that energy. Like you're stalking me, you're harassing me, you're calling my teammates and asking what I'm working on, you're calling people that I train with and ask them to train with you, like saying below the belt things about, you know, the like loss I've had in my family with my husband passing away, just all of that stuff, and then to turn around and try to hug me at the end of a fight, like we're never friends, we're not going to be cool. Like she's lucky that I won't go to the level she has, because the amount of dirt I have on her and her personal life like would hurt her feelings. But you know what, like I said, I'm not here for all of this. I'm here to fight and to train, and this is a huge like coping thing in my life. It's a huge outlet, and like I have people that look up to me that need to see me do this in the right way, because I want them to do things in the right way. And you know, I think she's a piece of shit, and I think she's a cheater, and I just don't have any respect for her, and I hope she just leaves people alone. The fact that she even went over to train with Holly for this Kayla Harrison fight is just dirty and below the belt too, because she, you know, she's out there trying to bully Kayla in the same ways, and by going and training with her opponent, it's just she's just rude. She's a rude person, and you know, she'll never have anything like real going for herself. So this is how she's got to market herself these days, and it's just sad and it's lame, and that's not what this sport's about.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And some of those things you mentioned, I didn't even know about. So I'm definitely sorry to hear that that you had to go through some of that stuff. With that being said, as well, too, you mentioned a long time ago in another interview when you were getting ready to fight Chris Cyborg in the UFC. You were getting calls from the UFC brass that they knew you could beat her, and like you were getting ready, or like they wanted to fly you out to the PI and train with you and everything. Is that like a typical practice that the UFC does when you're getting ready to fight, like to make sure you don't say no, getting ready for your fights?
I mean, yeah, you don't really get to say no to the UFC for one. For two, I mean, at the time I did want to do it. I wanted to get ready, and you know, it's been a long time coming, that fight between her and I. Back then I you know, I had a little bit more respect for her because she wasn't acting the way she acts these days. She was just fighting, and you know, everyone kind of had like there was like a unity with fighters that she was part of. She wasn't this like weird person that she is now, you know. Um, so I don't know. I looked forward to the fight then. I looked forward to this last fight. Is just a weird dynamic, and I think I'm better than her everywhere. I think she's just bigger, and I think she's stronger, and you know, technique can beat all of that. It just didn't happen. You know, I just didn't pull it off. I didn't do my thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And now, with that being said, you mentioned Cyborg was training with Keela Harrison, and you know you didn't think that was cool. With that being said, you started training with somebody from Ronda Rousey's team, and you reached out to her beforehand. How come you reached out to her beforehand? Is that like a typical thing you guys are supposed to do in the gym, just for like loyalty's sake, and especially since you guys just fought as well too?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's something everyone's supposed to do. It's just something that I do. I did. Is that out of respect for her, and out of respect for the coach too. The coach is Justin Flores, and he's great and he's amazing, and he's the style of wrestling, because I was a freestyle wrestler, and there's a lot of throws and everything. And when I looked for wrestling in San Diego, that was my style. It was very limited. And to find out like he's there, he's not being used anymore. Is it okay if I go there? The likelihood of me and Rhonda fighting again is none because she's not fighting anymore. But just out of respect for her and out of respect for him, like so he wouldn't be caught in the middle of anything. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was good on it. And on top of it, I mean, Rhonda's always looked out for me. I've always looked out for her. Like we have a whole different connection just because of different experiences in life. So, you know, but even so, like I think if it was somebody that I fought and I didn't know the way I know Rhonda, I think I would still need to have some sort of words or some sort of communication about me using their coaches because I've had Juliana Pena went to one of my old coaches for when me and her fought, and it was upsetting, and it did hurt me that that coach would say yes to coach against me, you know. Um and I don't know, I don't I rather do it in a different way with more integrity and get everybody's grace for it.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I definitely I respect that as well too, and I think Ronda definitely would respect that as well as any other fighter. So I definitely think that was pretty cool that you did that. With that being said, Ronda Rousey's in the WWE now. What did you think of her WWE career?
I didn't really watch it. Like I saw her pictures and her posts and stuff like that. It looked like she was having fun, and I think WWE, like when I was little, we were doing WWE in my house during watching that show, flying off the top of the couch and like all of that. So to me, it looked like a ton of fun what she was doing. And she's obviously got the personality and the like ability to speak like that and make people look, make people want to watch. So seems like she did a really good thing for herself and set up herself, set up her family, getting making the most out of it. So she did a good job.
Now, with you being such a pioneer in the sport and training for such a long time, how hard is it to find training partners when you are training for fights?
Historically really hard, because literally anyone as good as me is probably in my division. um and I've been top 5 in the world for 15 years. um So usually I would have to try to find guys my size or just, go with girls a little bit smaller than me, but that are also really good. And the problem with going with girls a little smaller than me is that I have to hold back, and I have to carry my weight differently because it just sucks to have to go with me if we're different sizes and I'm just all over you the way I am all over people, so that can get really hard with training because then I don't do everything I need to do to get ready because I am considering someone else's experience. Um, so typically I have to go with bring in guys that are my size from different disciplines like kickboxing or judo or jujitsu or whatever, or go with girls from different sports in those individual disciplines. But as far as MMA, I don't really have the most training partners for that readily.
Gotcha. Now, when you're training in the gym, I'm sure there's been like some rounds or even moments where you're beating guys in the gym. I mean, when that happens, like, do those certain guys like maybe not want to train with you or maybe spar with you again after that happens?
Uh no, I mean, I could see why you would question that, but like I've just been in this sport for so long, and the sport before that was wrestling, and by the time I got anywhere people had already heard of who I was, and so to go with me, I already had a level of respect. um it early on in wrestling when I was the only girl, it was a little different, but yeah, I've just done so much and people already know that it's going to be a fucking tornado going with me, and it's almost, it can be very comical where they're like, wow, she did all of those things to me like she always does. So um I get a lot of respect. Sometimes you get like the occasional stiff guy or big guy that wants to try to throw you around, but they get tired. Like everyone, there's a method of beating everybody, especially at this level. You just got to figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. Now, with that being said, I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I've been training for about 20 years now, and I've been teaching for 6 years now. And I have about 150 guys in my gym. With that being said, what advice would you give to those guys to keep coming to the gym every single day to keep on getting better and better?
I would say it's important to work on the things you're not good at. Like being great at a couple things is awesome, of course, but put, finding yourself in the positions that you're bad at is also really good, and like for a long time I had to work on uh like the bad parts of MMA. So being on the bottom of mount, I like hated it. And because coming from wrestling, being on your back like that is you're pinned. So it was like a really hard place for me to be. I just didn't like it. It was like a little claustrophobic, and for a long time I had to do these drills where I would spend multiple drill sessions multiple times a week with me on bottom mount and people raining down punches on me ground and pound. And I ended up getting really good there and hating it so much. Like I can roll literally anyone from being in the top position. Like I don't stay on my back long because of how much I drilled the thing I hate, which was being on bottom of mount or being on bottom of like a side control. And I think also, yeah, just coming in, but also making sure if you do plateau or you do need breaks, like take them. Like nothing, nothing good really comes from burnout if you're going to keep forcing yourself to do it. I feel like a lot of times that's when you get hurt or, something else catches your eye. Like I do think taking breaks, like for me, the recipe I have right now is like if I start to get frustrated or I'm like almost bored with it for a minute, like I'll just go do anything but that. Like I'll go on hikes or I'll I go do dance classes or I'll go do a swimming thing or I'll do whatever. And then I'll start missing the gym. I'll start missing my training partners. I'll start missing fighting. I'll start missing being in that shape or breathing that hard, and it feels good to miss it. And I know that I will miss it if I give myself breaks. But if I continue to push through and I'm in a kind of a burnout, like there's really nothing there for me to do because if mentally I'm not excited about this and I don't miss it and I don't want it and I don't crave it, like I'm just not going to perform the same.
No, absolutely. I definitely think that's a great message that everyone needs to kind of learn when they're not very good at something. They definitely got to just push through it and keep grinding. I definitely think it's a great message, and thank you very much for that. With that being said, Kat, last message to the fans out there that are going to be watching this video.
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. I'm excited about this year. I hope I get one of the overseas fights. I absolutely love to travel and to go train and to teach. And so looking forward to possibly fighting over in Japan or Europe. I think that would be amazing.
I definitely think that would be awesome, and yeah, we're definitely looking forward to your future career or your future fights and your career coming up. Kat, thank you so much for coming on, and enjoy the rest of your night and UFC 300 if you're tuning in.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good night. Take care.
All right, you too. Bye.